The Strokes. The Strokes are an American rock band from New York City. Formed in 1998, the band is composed of singer Julian Casablancas, guitarist Nick Valenci and Albert Hammond Jr., bassist Nikolai Furtwer, and drummer Fabrizio Moretti. They were a leading group of the early 2000s indie rock revival. The release of their EP The Modern Age in early 2001 sparked a bidding war among major labels, with the band eventually signing to RCA Records. That summer, they released their debut album, Is This It?, to critical acclaim and strong sales. It has since appeared on numerous best album lists. It was followed by Room on Fire and First Impressions of Earth, both of which sold well but failed to match Is This It in critical success. Following a 5-year hiatus, they released Angles and Come Down Machine to lukewarm critical reception and dwindling sales. Following the end of their initial contract with RCA, they released the Future Present Past EP through Casablanca's label Cult. The band were relatively inactive throughout the decade, making infrequent live appearances and directing most media attention to individual projects. In 2020, they released their first studio album in 7 years, The New Abnormal, produced by Rick Rubin and released through Cult and RCA. Critics considered the album a return to form. It went on to win Best Rock Album at the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards. As of 2020, the band has sold 5 million albums worldwide. Lead singer-songwriter Julian Casablancas, guitarist Nick Valenci, and drummer Fabrizio Moretti started playing together as teenagers while attending Dwight School in Manhattan, and formed an informal band in 1997. They later added bassist Nikolai Furtwer to their ranks, a close childhood friend of Casablancas who had attended the Lycée Français de New York with him. At the end of 1998, the group invited guitarist Albert Hammond Jr. to play with them. He had just moved to New York City and reconnected with Casablancas, whom he knew from their brief stints at the private boarding school Institut La Rosie, near Nyon, Switzerland. The two soon became roommates. In the following 2 years, the band practiced and performed tirelessly in New York City. Many of their contemporaries have credited the band's earliest successes to their dedication and hustle, as well as their engaging personalities. They practiced most nights, with many rehearsals taking place in the Music Building in Midtown Manhattan. They played their first show as The Strokes on September 14, 1999, at the Spiral. They soon frequented Manhattan's rock clubs including Hi-Fi Bar and the Luna Lounge on the Lower East Side of New York, and later Manhattan's popular Mercury Lounge. Mercury Lounge's young booker Ryan Gentles eventually quit his job to become the band's manager. The Strokes released their debut album, Is This It?, in the US in October 2001. The album was produced by Gordon Raphael, as was their follow-up album Room on Fire. RCA delayed the North American release over concerns with the album's cover and lyrics. The UK released cover features a black and white photo of a gloved hand on a woman's naked backside, shown in semi-profile, while the North American version replaced it with a photo of particle collisions in the big European bubble chamber. RCA replaced the track New York City Cops with When It Started, as the former featured potentially inflammatory lyrics in the wake of the September 11 attacks.